Colette sabotages Josslyn's WSB recruitment, and danger looms. General Hospital spoilers suggest that some fans' worries about Jack Brennan enlisting Josslyn Jax as a WSB agent may be correct. During the Tuesday, February 4th episode of the drama, he and his WSB sidekick, Colette Gerard, were chatting in a forested place outside town. Colette discovered Cyrus Renault's hideout house, but Brennan was not interested in helping the PCPD solve this case. Instead, he wanted to see if Josslyn would find the house and what she would do next. Brennan appears to have complete trust in Colette, despite the fact that she has been a little shady lately. Fans' feelings of shoddiness toward the figure could be due to a lack of information about her, or it could be because she is, in fact, up to no good. After all, Colette followed Lulu Spencer to Prague on Brennan's orders. Nonetheless, shooting at Valentine Cassadine in front of that cafe, with his daughter, Charlotte Cassadine, nearby, felt like a villainous act. Colette did provide a reasonable explanation for her actions, which may have alleviated Brennan's fears, but fans aren't convinced she's a decent character. Does she have a sinister agenda? After all, there's still something unknown about Sonny Corinthos' penthouse. The equipment used was a WSB model, and Colette questioned whether it had been leaked to someone outside the agency. Still, what if she is the one causing the leaks? Regardless, it wouldn't be surprising if Colette was a villain, working for someone like Jen Sidwell to bring down Sonny, Brennan, and the WSB. This type of plot twist is what makes for exciting soap opera plots. Still, if this is true, could she disrupt Josslyn's WSB test? Colette may do this in an attempt to retaliate against Sonny, or she may just wish to disrupt Brennan's intentions to recruit another spy. Is she concerned about her assistant's position at the WSB? That could also be a factor. However, if Colette has hidden love for Brennan, undermining Josslyn and putting her in risk could be a method to retaliate against Carly Spencer. Fans are aware that Colette could be a great WSB agent with concealed psychopathic inclinations. She simply doesn't have enough canvas to know at this moment. Josslyn was almost discovered in Cyrus' room on the Wednesday, February 5th episode, but what if Colette creates a similar situation? Unlike Cyrus' apartment, his hidden house is visibly outside of Port Charles and located in a wooded region, making it difficult for Josslyn to avoid Cyrus' wrath if he discovers her snooping around in his business. According to General Hospital spoilers, there is much more to Colette than meets the eye, so it will be intriguing to see when the soap uncovers her true colors. Will Josslyn get caught in the middle of it all and end up in a bad predicament as a result? Only time will tell. General Hospital spoilers for Friday, February 7th include Cyrus' outburst, Drew and Sidwell's connection, and Sonny's medical results. General Hospital spoilers for Friday, February 7th state that Cyrus Renault will have a dramatic outburst, while Drew Quartermaine and Jen Sidwell develop a perilous relationship. Sonny Corinthos will also receive medical results, so here's what GH viewers might expect. For starters, Lucas Jones will tell Carly Spencer that they need to quit making a bad situation worse, so he'll continue to give her counsel, which she may or may not take. Regardless, Carly may be in peril now that Nina Reeves wants to gang up against Drew. Nina will submit her proposal to Carly after updating Maxie Jones on her partnership plan, in the hopes of finding a surprising partner. At Turning Woods, Cyrus will become agitated and want to know who is spreading rumors about him. Because brother Cyrus values his reputation as a reformed man, he will become enraged if his reputation suffers further damage. If Cyrus discovers Josslyn Jax is sniffing about, she will almost probably become a target. On Friday's episode, Lulu Spencer will encounter someone who will cause her to feel uncomfortable. Sidwell's actions toward her brother, Lucky Spencer, may have sparked Lulu's rage. Sidwell will also meet with Drew at some time, which will lead to his bringing up Sonny's name in the conversation. Drew may become skeptical of Sidwell's hidden objectives in gathering information about Sonny. Laura Collins will definitely catch a glimpse of this Sidwell and Drew conversation since she is preparing to issue Drew a warning. Laura may try to steer Drew away from hazardous Sidwell, especially because Drew already has enough troubles. Over with Jordan Ashford, she'll talk to Anna Devane about her plan to get Sidwell in and dig some dirt. Anna may be concerned because Sidwell threatens anyone who gets too close. Back with Lulu, she'll decide on a new approach to finding Charlotte Cassadine. Lulu refuses to let up for their permanent mother-daughter reunion, so we'll see if Laura agrees or not. Natalia Ramirez, in Los Angeles, will wonder if Sunny is concerned about what the doctor may say. Natalia will press for honesty and support while Sunny waits to visit his cardiologist. Natalia will rejoin Sunny once he has received his medical results. Sunny may have to deal with some difficult news, but he will appreciate Natalia's support and advice. According to General Hospital spoilers, Sunny's doctor may offer grim predictions concerning his health, so stay tuned to find out what his next moves are. General Hospital spoilers, Rocco and Danny work together to bring Cyrus down. Is there justice for Sam's death? General Hospital teasers indicate that Rocco Falconeri will overhear something during the Thursday, February 6th episode. There is a significant probability he will discover that Sam McCall's death was not an accident and that she was killed. However, what if he also discovers that Cyrus Renaud was behind it all? Rocco Falconeri turns to Danny Morgan. According to GH's preview, Danny Morgan will be on the canvas from February 3rd to 7th, so fans can expect Rocco to come to Danny to tell him about Sam once he learns the truth. The teenagers will be devastated by this news, but knowing these two, they may feel compelled to take matters into their own hands, especially if they discover Cyrus was also involved. But are they willing to go to extreme means in the name of vengeance? Cyrus Renaud's days are numbered in Port Charles. Fans anticipate a whodunit narrative including Cyrus. The show appears to be creating a list of suspects for his possible murder at the moment, and once word of his digitalis spree reaches Port Charles, the criminal's days will be numbered. Many people will be interested in Cyrus's death, including Dante, Alexis Davis, Jason Morgan, and Christina Corinthos Davis, but may Rocco and Danny join them? Could the two teenagers band together to bring Cyrus' reign of terror to an end? It would be a fascinating plot twist if the boys initially concealed their actions before revealing them to their fathers, Jason and Dante. Still, how far would the cop and Stone Cold go to keep their sons from facing legal consequences? A secret kept too long, Brooke Lynn's betrayal of Dante. Brooke Lynn had put away her history, hoping that it would never return. She had made a decision years ago, one she had convinced herself was the correct one. However, choices had repercussions, and she was now faced with the sad realization that what she had done was not solely her responsibility. She was not the only one impacted by her decision. Dante Falconeri had lived his entire life believing he knew his own tale. He grew up in Bensonhurst, raised by his ferociously protective mother, Olivia, and had a strong sense of commitment to those he considered family. But, unbeknownst to him, a piece of his past had been taken from him. He was unaware that he had a child. Brooke Lynn was only a teenager when it happened, a summer romance, an impetuous moment that changed her life forever. But rather than turning to Dante and allowing him to participate in the decision, she selected for both of them. She hadn't told him she was pregnant. She'd never told him he had a son or daughter someplace out there. And years later, she was still concealing the truth. Many considered it an awful betrayal. The fact that Brooke Lynn had made such a significant decision without even informing Dante, without allowing him the opportunity to participate, was a deep pain that could not be quickly healed. Would Dante have come forward if he had known? Would he have battled for his child and decided to raise them himself, even as a teenager? Brooke Lynn had convinced herself that she had done her best. She had been terrified, unprepared, and unsure about what the future held. But fear did not change the reality that Dante deserved to know the truth. And now, when the past caught up with her, she wondered if she had made an irreversible error. Collateral damage, the fallout with Olivia. If Dante's reaction was explosive, it paled in comparison to what Olivia Falconeri experienced when she discovered the truth. Olivia has spent her entire life protecting her son. She fought for him, mentored him, and did everything she could to ensure he had the finest possible future. Despite this, she had been denied the opportunity to know her own grandchild. Not only had Brooke Lynn betrayed her, but so had her dearest friend, Lois Cerullo. Olivia would be completely devastated by the revelation. She and Lois had a friendship that had lasted decades, despite numerous ups and downs. But this was a betrayal that may be tough to forgive. Lois had known the truth. She had known Brooke Lynn was pregnant, that she had given birth, and that Dante had unwittingly become a father. Nevertheless, she had said nothing. She'd chosen silence. She'd chosen to keep Olivia in the dark, denying her the opportunity to be present for her grandchild from the outset. How could she justify it? How could she stay by and watch Olivia and Dante go about their lives, unaware of the truth? More importantly, how could Olivia ever look at Lois in the same way again? The Quartermaine firestorm, a grandfather deceived. But the devastation did not end there. Ned Quartermaine had spent his entire navigating the Quartermaine family's tumultuous world, yet he was still unprepared for what was about to happen. For years, he assumed he knew everything about his daughter. But Brooke Lynn had concealed this from him, just like she had from Dante and Olivia. And the most painful part? His grandchild had always been there under his nose. The whispers had begun, with speculations circling around the notion that Gio Palmieri, the young man who had unexpectedly become a fixture in the Quartermaine mansion, was the child Brooke Lynn had abandoned all those years before. If this is true, Brooke Lynn has robbed Ned of years with his own grandson. And Ned? He was not the type of man who took betrayal lightly. Brooke Lynn's lie was more than a personal hurt, it was an insult to the fundamental cornerstone of the Quartermaine lineage. The idea that a Quartermaine heir had been lost and put away without his knowing was something he could never accept. And if the truth came out, the consequences would be nothing short of disastrous. A decades-long secret and an unexpected keeper. But arguably the most stunning piece of the puzzle was the discovery that Cody Bell, of all people, had known the truth for years. Cody, a man who could never keep a secret for more than 5 minutes, had managed to conceal Brooke Lynn's pregnancy for 20 years. It was nearly laughable. This was the same man who had revealed Sasha Gilmore's pregnancy within hours of learning about it, and who had never been able to resist rumor. And yet, he had decided to keep this particular piece of information hidden for 20 years. It defied logic. He claimed to have driven a young, pregnant Brooke Lynn to the bus station years ago. He knew what was going on, had seen the look in her eyes when she decided to flee Port Charles and face her pregnancy alone. And yet, after that night, he never mentioned it again. Had he genuinely believed that it was not his responsibility to say anything? Or had he simply forgotten, allowing the recollection to fade into the background until it was no longer useful? In any case, his involvement exacerbated an already chaotic situation. And with so many people now aware of this long-buried secret, there was only one question remaining to be answered. What happens now? Brooke Lynn's world was about to implode. She had spent years attempting to escape her history, hoping that if she buried the truth deep enough, it would never come to light. But Port Charles was a city where secrets never remained concealed for long. Now the walls were closing in. Dante would find out. Olivia would find out. Ned would find out. And once the truth was revealed, there was no going back. Will Dante forgive her? Will Olivia and Lois' friendship withstand the betrayal? Will Ned be able to look at his daughter in the same way again? The answers remained ambiguous. But one thing was clear, no one in Brooke Lynn's life will ever be the same again. There will be interrogations, fury, heartbreak, and plots on the next episode of General Hospital. The General Hospital spoilers for Friday, February 7th, 2025 are here. In tomorrow's episode, Nina Reeves is expected to offer an alliance. Sonny Corinthos receives medical news. Lulu Spencer experiences a tense meeting. Plus, Laura Collins warns Drew Kane Quartermaine. Nina Reeves alliance. According to the GH spoilers on Friday, February 7th, Nina threatened Drew. Nina is also planning to make it happen. Nina will propose an alliance to her nemesis, Carly Spencer. Nina has attempted to forge an alliance with Carly earlier, following the Nixon Falls incident. However, that did not fly, but this time may be different. This concerns Carly and Nina's innocent grandchildren. While Willow Tate Corinthos can spend her life as she chooses, everyone is concerned for the children. So, Carly might accept to work with Nina just once. However, if Nina pushes too hard or becomes deceitful, she risks losing the bond with Willow that she has worked so hard to establish. Not to mention Willow's reaction when she discovers about Nina and Drew. GH spoilers, Laura Collins warning. On Friday, February 7th, fans may anticipate Laura to give a warning. It's Drew, not Cyrus Renault or Jen Sidwell. Sunny Corinthos's Heart News. General Hospital teasers for Friday, February 7th indicate that Sunny will receive medical news. Sunny and Natalia Ramirez traveled to LA to visit a heart expert. Sunny will get an update, but what is his prognosis? Will Sunny be compelled to tell his loved ones that he doesn't have much time left? Or will Sunny insist that Natalia keep his death sentence a secret? General Hospital spoilers for Friday, February 7th, 2025. In tomorrow's episode, Jordan Ashford will also brief Anna Devane. Jordan is desperate to pursue Jen Sidwell, but she is playing a risky and potentially fatal game. Furthermore, in the next on GH preview clip, Lucas Jones tells Carly that they cannot exacerbate an already poor situation. Cyrus Renault wants to know who is circulating lies about him. Sidwell asks Drew about Sunny. Lulu also advises Laura that there may be another way to find Charlotte Cassadine. The General Hospital cast gets joyful as they walk through the Jennifer Hudson show's Spirit Tunnel. Maurice Benard, Donnell Turner, Cameron Matheson, Finola Hughes, Laura Wright, and Tanisha Harper from General Hospital went through the Spirit Tunnel. For the past week, we've been talking about one of the best parts of the Jennifer Hudson show, the Spirit Tunnel. JHS workers frequently encourage, rejoice, and serenade their visitors as they walk to the stage to meet with the show's presenter. 6 General Hospital cast members have now been through it. Dance of Joy. Finola Hughes, Tanisha Harper, Laura Wright, Maurice Benard, Donnell Turner, and Cameron Matheson appeared as guests on the Jennifer Hudson show on Wednesday. They answered questions about the show, their personal lives, being soap opera performers, and the characters they portray. But, before they met with EGOT winner J. Hud, the performers had to go through a rite of passage on the show called the Spirit Tunnel. We have been building it up for you. Fortunately, the entire cast was on board as Benard led the group, and talk show staff members serenaded them on their walk to the set. The cast seems to have had a positive and inspiring experience. Tabiana Ali from GH commented to the post, writing, "Ms. Finola was definitely getting down." Ollie and Cassandra James were on the same page about Ms. Hughes' dance moves. My babes! I love everything about this. Especially at Finola Filona breaking it down. Smiling face with heart eyes, starstruck sparkling heart, James said. A great time. The 6 GH cast members appeared to have a terrific time. Wright provided some stunning images from their time on the show. She expressed gratitude for the experience. A huge thank you to the Jennifer Hudson show for having us. What a great day. It was a party from the moment we entered the stage till we exited. Jennifer will be joining us in Port Charles. Sparkles Red Heart. Meanwhile, Turner posted some of his favorite moments on the set, saying, "It was great to hang out with @IamChud and my beautiful #GH castmates on the Jennifer Hudson show. Miss Hudson was so down to earth that I felt as if I had known her forever. Love, respect, and blessings. Thank you bouquet okay hand medium dark skin tone dot." Was Lucky and Liz's moment a callback to Luke and Laura on General Hospital? Instead, he has fallen in love with angels. As Lucky and Elizabeth begin to rekindle their romance, they may have made an iconic tribute to the fan-favorite couple who came before them on General Hospital. LL 2.0. With Elizabeth unmarried and Lucky back in Port Charles, it's just a matter of time before the super couple, nicknamed LL2, reunites. Their romance stalled in 2011 after Elizabeth had an affair with Lucky's brother, became pregnant, and Lucky wanted to leave town to rediscover himself. Now that Lucky has returned and has undoubtedly discovered himself, his journey has taken him south, where he needs to uncover his inner Luke. Between the poker games, bartending, and his sharp wit, Lucky has become more like his father than ever before. He finally knows who he is at Port Charles. He has a job at Charlie's and is using his detective talents to find Cyrus and make up for lost time with his son. The only thing he's lacking is the love of his life. Angel. During the February 4th, 2025 episode of GH, Lucky told Elizabeth about being taken captive by Sidwell. He admitted that he felt his late father was with him, helping him win the life or death poker games. But Luke was not the only presence he sensed. When Lucky admitted to seeing Elizabeth while he was in prison, he described the encounter as seeing an angel. She told him she couldn't be anyone's angel, but he comforted her that he only needed her to be herself. GH viewers may recall Luke frequently referred to Laura as his angel. Lucky referring to Elizabeth as his angel was a lovely nod to the original LL. GH spoilers for Friday, February 7th, bad situations, spreading lies, and questionable delays. General Hospital spoilers and updates for Friday, February 7th include awful situations, lies, and questionable delays. Lucas Jones wants to stop exacerbating an already poor situation, Cyrus Renault wants to know who is spreading misinformation, and Jen Sidwell is concerned about a suspicious delay. Bad situations become worse? Lucas speaks with Carly Spencer at the hospital, telling her that they must quit exacerbating an already poor situation. No doubt he's still talking about Carly's connection with Jack Brennan, which he strongly opposes. He got even more suspicious when he and Carly stopped in at Bobby's and discovered Josslyn Jax conversing with Jack at a table. Lucas does not trust Brennan, but Carly does, even Josslyn. She had no idea Brennan is enlisting Josslyn's help in finding Cyrus and putting him to justice. Spreading lies and asking plenty of questions. Speaking of Cyrus, he is currently at Turning Woods, speaking with director Ferner. He was barred from engaging with patients at GH, and it appears that he may also be barred from doing so at Turning Woods. Cyrus wants to know who has been spreading lies about him. He knows he is a suspect in the Digitalis deaths since he is being treated as such. Cyrus appears to believe it is his purpose to relieve people's suffering, but something doesn't add up. None of the individuals he helped were dying. Perhaps what Lucky Spencer and Elizabeth Baldwin started made sense to Ferner. Questionable delays. Sidwell is having lunch with an unusual partner when he asks Drew Quartermain if Sonny Corinthos was involved in a delay. The delay appears to be related to some sort of agreement Drew and Sidwell have, as strange as that may seem. Perhaps Sidwell approached Drew, the congressman, and asked him to facilitate Sidwell's business in Port Charles. Drew looks perplexed as to why Sidwell would mention Sonny's name. It should be a red flag, but Drew might not notice it. Doctor visits. Meanwhile, out in California, Natalia Ramirez quizzes Sonny about his upcoming doctor's appointment. Isaiah Gannon was able to arrange for a specialist to examine his AFib in a private setting remote from Port Charles. Natalia asks Sonny whether he is concerned about what the doctor may tell him. At the time, he understands he should slow down, but there is no one to take over his mob operation. Jason Morgan declined, but attempted to persuade Sonny to retire. Sonny was considering it, but who would fill the gap? Another way. Lulu Spencer isn't given up on finding Charlotte Cassadine and bringing her back to Port Charles. Despite Charlotte's decision to stay with her father, Valentine Cassadine Lulu wanted to persuade her otherwise. Laura Collins listens with curiosity, but her face is furrowed with dread as she considers the potential risk. Lulu is dead serious when she informs Laura that there could be another way to find her daughter. But even if she is found, will Charlotte be persuaded to return home and abandon her loving papa? A battle is brewing, Michael's claim on his child. Jason Morgan had always been Michael's rock, a constant presence in an otherwise chaotic life. When Michael was younger, Jason was more than simply a mentor, he was a protector and father figure in ways that Sonny Corinthos had never been able to be. But this was different. This was not about business, strategy, or stepping up to help a friend in need. This was about something more intimate, visceral. It was about his child. Michael understood that Jason had just intervened because he believed it was the appropriate thing to do. With Michael away for treatment, Jason saw a hole that needed to be filled, and as usual, he was willing to give up his own peace for the sake of others. But Michael was back. And that meant things were about to change. Sasha's stand, does a mother have the right to choose? Of course, it wasn't all about Michael and Jason. Sasha Gilmore made it known from the start that she intended to raise this child on her own. For months, she had struggled with the reality of her pregnancy, knowing that everything in her life was going to change in ways she had never anticipated. She had carried the weight of that knowledge alone, attempting to reconcile with the fact that it was now her responsibility. She had not expecting Jason to step in. But more than that, she had not anticipated Michael to return. She was now presented with an unexpected dilemma. Michael has every right to be involved in this child's life. She knew that. But was she prepared to let him in? Was she prepared to share the decisions, duties, and risks? More importantly, could she trust him? Michael had left her when she needed him the most. It wasn't entirely his fault, but it didn't erase the fact that she'd been alone. Jason had been there. Jason had offered his assistance, his support, and his constant presence. Could she truly push him away now that Michael had determined he was ready? Jason Morgan's dilemma, knowing when to step back. Jason had never been the sort to force himself into a role that didn't fit him. He had taken on the burden of assisting Sasha since it seemed like the appropriate thing to do, as Michael had left and someone needed to ensure she wasn't confronting this alone. But Jason wasn't the type to battle for a position that wasn't his. Michael was back. That meant Jason had a decision to make. Did he step back, allow Michael to recover his position, and then walk away without looking back? Or did he remain firm, honor his promise to Sasha, and fight for the position he had willingly taken on? For the first time in a long time, Jason Morgan was unsure about his next step. Michael's return, more than just a homecoming. Michael had always understood that returning to Port Charles would not be easy. Too much had changed. Too much had remained unresolved. And, while Sasha and his unborn child were the primary reasons for his return, he was aware of the other fights that awaited him. His family had been divided for months. Sonny Corinthos was still dealing with his own issues, Carly Corinthos had done everything she could to keep things together, and the consequences of previous betrayals hung heavily over them all. Michael understood that returning to this world would be difficult. But he also understood that he had no choice. His child was just about to be born. Michael Corinthos refused to be absent. What's next? A future unwritten. The days ahead would not be easy. There will be confrontations, disputes, and scars that were too deep to overlook. Michael and Sasha had to figure out how to navigate their new situation together. Jason had to determine if his position was still with Sasha or if it was time to leave. Above all, a child was going to be born, and the choices made in the next days would influence his or her future. Only one thing was certain. Port Charles was going to be rattled to the core. Somebody threw this at Cameron Matheson over Drew's hate for General Hospital. One apple a day keeps the Drew haters away. Drew has become a much-hated guy in Port Charles, both by the characters and the audience, since the Drew and Willow combination debuted on General Hospital. Drew's actor, Cameron Matheson, has disclosed an unhappy fan experience caused by a distaste for his character. From good guy to the most hated man. During an appearance on The Jennifer Hudson Show on February 5, alongside co-stars Laura Wright, Maurice Benard, Donnell Turner, Tanisha Harper, and Finola Hughes, Hudson remarked that Matheson's role has not been well received in recent months. Hudson said, "So, Cameron, I heard your character is like, people got a problem with your character," garnering laughter. Is it difficult when you go out and are recognized? What do the folks do? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.